How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and today we're going to be talking about Zomedica, which ended up having a strong bounce off support today. And it's something that I want to kind of go over with you guys, especially if you are a shareholder or if you're doing any type of swing trades or short-term trades. Another thing that we're going to be going over, we're going to be doing an update in regards to institutional ownership and as well as short interest. And we also realize that ZOM is being added to ETFs as well. So that just shows that institutions are showing some interest, but I will be going into more details in the portion of that in the video. So with the technical analysis, giving you these possible areas of support, if it does pull back or we end up seeing a move to the upside, what you need to look forward to. And then on top of that, we're going to be going over an article that came out very recently talking about, hey, the momentum, the volume, and the demand in the ZOM stock, and is that part of the reasons why we're seeing the price action that we're seeing today? And then, of course, after that, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. You know, we got to do this value pack, so let's get into those videos right now. All right, so we're going to go over this article on investorplace.com in regards to Zomedica. It actually came out today, April 6th at 3:05 p.m. So ZOM stock. Is Zomedica out of favor with meme stock investors? ZOM stock is gaining today, but a Bloomberg report says Zomedica could be yesterday's news. Today, investors in Zomedica and ZOM stock have seen gains of approximately 5%. Today's move appears to be a reversion of some pretty negative momentum in ZOM stock of late. In fact, over the past month, this stock has been down roughly 30%. Now, let's not forget that this stock has been a four-bagger for investors since the beginning of the year. Indeed, this trade still appears to have legs among the retail crowd. There's still a ton of excitement around this name, and Zomedica certainly has the potential to turn around from here. Indeed, a significant amount of excitement following the company's announced commercialization of its Trueforma platform sent this stock climbing. However, investors appear to be antsy with respect to a lack of updates on this front. Worse, social media related sentiment doesn't appear to be as strong as it once was with this stock. Therefore, worries are building that ZOM stock's recent declines may be more indicative of a long-term trend at play here. Let's dive into what investors are looking at with Zomedica today. Has ZOM stock lost favor with the retail crowd? An interesting report from Bloomberg today highlighted this sentiment shift in more detail. The article poses the idea to investors that in the twitchy world of meme stocks, Brooklyn Amino Therapeutics Inc. is in and Zomedica Corp. may be out. The reason for this? Well, retail investors appear to be heavily trading other biotech stocks right now. Other biotech stocks such as Brooklyn Amino Therapeutics have a much better story than that of Zomedica. And that's enough to change the game when it comes to picking these speculative small cap stocks today. The rise of the retail investor makes picking winners difficult in this environment. Indeed, investor preferences change, and investors banking on big wins with such stocks are betting heavily on the story rather than the fundamentals. While it's likely too early to tell which direction Zomedica stock will trade in the near term, this idea is intriguing. Investors ought to take such concerns into consideration before buying any highly touted speculative stock today. So like you guys know already, I love looking at articles that both have a bullish and a bearish perspective because it gives you more insight in regards to the stocks that you're actually shareholders in. All right, we're going to be doing a technical analysis on Zomedica. This was requested, so I'm like, you know what? You already know I'm here to serve you guys. So let's take a look at the overall performance on the day. It was at $1.40 where it closed, being up on the day 5.26%. As far as the ranges, it ended up seeing a low of $1.11 and it ended up seeing a high of $1.45. So what ended up going down for Zomedica? So one thing we realized, and this tends to happen quite a bit, we call this a dead cat bounce. So it got down to an area where there was definitely some proven support here. Right now, the chart that we're looking at is actually the 1 month chart, and I'm going to expand the chart even further to show you why this area of support was able to bounce off and give us the price action we ended up seeing. But anyways, what ended up happening, once it bounced off that low of $1.11, but we see solid area at $1.15, it ended up getting right back into this particular support area, which is proven in the past, of $1.37, and it actually held itself up for the entire day. What the test is what we need to see, as you could see from the indicator here from the 50-day EMA, is it going to be able to actually reclaim it? right? That's what we want to see. And in order for it to actually reclaim it, tomorrow we would have to see ZOM get into that $1.50 area so it can start seeing more of a bullish trend. For now, as long as it's staying below $1.50, then this is something I would not be taking as, well, you know what, this is a strong recovery that's about to happen. What just happened was it bounced off a support area. We already know currently from what we're seeing and how it actually finished today, we definitely have some resistance here right at $1.43, but to be exact, right at $1.45. So let's expand out a chart a little bit so I can show you guys something. So when it ended up having this huge dip, if we take a look, especially in the past, we could see this was a support area. So look back here, this was an area of support, right? If we go down to where the dip was, even though it didn't spend much time at that $1.11 area, we see some support there, right? So let's say, for example, tomorrow, or maybe if ZOM pulls back even further, what's an area to look out for? So an area to look out for in case it decides to pull back even further or there's some sell-offs is right where you see it at $1.04. You'd want to see how well this level actually holds up. If this level cannot hold up, then the next area of support you could see right here we have at 97 cents. That 97 cents area, what's the next support level behind it? Is right here at 90 cents and taking into consideration 88 cents. If this 88 cents area ends up breaking, you could already see by the chart how it ends up looking. So please be aware and be cautious of these particular areas, especially if you're doing ZOM on a short term or on a swing trade. Of course, if you are a long-term investor, this would not be applicable to you. Only if you want to bring down your overall cost average, of course. So that's why I was saying that, hey, what you want to see, especially since it's right here at this $1.40 area where it closed, and it seems like in after hours it's around $1.39. You want it to get past this area of resistance here at $1.45 and see it make that move so it can reclaim above $1.50. A good bounce, if it gets into the $1.50 and you end up getting some momentum, it'll be going to $1.60 and where it will meet another resistance area. Once this area is broken, then you can definitely look forward to seeing it try to go to $1.70. But again, if we start seeing this particular type of movement, that shows a bullish signal. But for now, this just looks like it was a big time bounce because it hit a critical area of support. So we're now on fintel.io for Zomedica Pharmaceuticals. So we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership. We want to see what the big money has been doing as of late. So in regards to institutional owners, ZOM currently has 50, as you can see right there. And as we scroll down the page, we already know green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So if we start taking a look, so far we can see back here from February to 23rd, a lot of institutions, or a good amount, I must say, are actually opening new positions. So this includes Purist Wealth Management, Blackstone, also Vanguard, and as well as SOA Wealth Advisors and also Schwab. So if you take a look, these are also in index funds as well. So there are some institutions that have been showing some interest in ZOM, and being the most recent as of late, March the 25th. And when you see the total amount of shares, it's at 201,930. And we could also see over here with the Vanguard, and this was back on March the 1st at 600. Wow, 604,961. So this is something to be aware of. So now what we're going to be doing, we're going to take a look at the short interest on ZOM as well. So we can see the short volume ratio, which is fairly high at 36%. Like we speak about on this channel, anything above 21% is fairly significant. So as we scroll down, as far as short shares availability, it's at 7.7 million. And if we take a look at the short borrow free rate, it is at 2.31%. And as we can see here, it being at 36.36%, this is definitely fairly high, especially when we take a look. This is higher than it's ever been, right? Even if we go all the way back here from March the 22nd, going to 28 to 32 to 35, we had a high there, right on March the 24th. but 36, this is definitely higher than we have seen. So this is something to be aware of, and it will contribute to the price action that we see in ZOM. But just keep in mind, if there's any recent news or a press release that is positive and the market reacts well to it, it does increase the likelihood of short squeeze potential. So for my final thoughts for Zomedica, I must say this is something that I'm not surprised about. And part of the reasons being, when we take a look at the technical analysis, where ZOM hit down right at that $1.10 area is a critical area of support. There's strong support there. So when it bounced, automatically we ended up seeing a ton of buying pressure, and it was able to make the run that we ended up seeing today. But what we want to look forward to in regards to price action is it going to continue to move to the upside as this week progresses, or maybe sometime next week. We've already seen that, you know what, some institutions have been showing some interest as well in ZOM, so it's definitely looking good, especially if you are a long-term investor. We've already talked about how important it is for the true form system to be well adopted in the market. We already know that it's in a growing industry as well. So checking off all of these boxes, there's definitely some growth, and institutions just as much as retail investors are seeing it. Now, going over that article quickly, yes, a lot of momentum has played into ZOM stock, and it's part of the reasons why it's ran up in the price that we've seen in the past. But knowing this and being aware when that volume and demand does go down, that's going to be reflected in the stock price. But one thing that you need to know, if there's success in the true forma system, and they end up selling, right? They end up making a lot of money. The earnings end up being good. It's showing that the product is actually great. Then you're going to see that reflected in the stock price, and you're going to see a move going to the upside. And that also makes you want to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. The price action that we're seeing from ZOM, again, it could be looked at as an opportunity. If you got in at a high price point and you believe in them long term, hey, this is a potential area that you can think about adding to bring your cost average down. If you're thinking about swing trade opportunities, make sure you're aware of those support and resistance areas that we covered in the technical analysis, because this will be key for your overall game plan. But for my overall thoughts and what you guys already know already, I've already sold 75% of my position in ZOM a while back, and I have 25% that I'm just letting it ride and seeing what happens. So I do have interest just as much as you are, who is a shareholder, or maybe you just have interest in it overall in general. But that's what I wanted to update you guys on. We'll talk soon.